Hello guys, Bebarol here, and today I'm talking to you about the build for condition SoulBeast roaming world vs world. A build work for 1v1s, outnumber fights, and even small scale fight work great. For Zergs it still works, but you'd usually use a meta build. So let's start as usual with a summary of the build and then go for full explanation. If you're not interested in the whole thing, you would watch this part like a couple of minutes tops. Now, my weapons are short bow, dagger torch. My skills are burst stance, lightning reflexes, sharpened stone, can be swapped. You would see it in my roaming with vulture stance, but this is your best bet. And Doliac stance, entangle. My bit, you can only use one bit as of now in SoulBeast in combat, but you can switch bits if you're out of combat. I keep this one for, I don't know, safety, but I never really switch to it. I always on that icy wolf, I can't remember its name. And my gear is mixed between Trailblazer and Dire for toughness, condition, vitality, and expertise. Enough expertise to get you close to 100 bleeding. I'm 83 on dagger and 93 on short bow. I use the Rune of Crite, Agony and Malice sigils, Agony and Corruption, the same as Druid. The only thing different is my stats. It's Trailblazer and Dire, not Shaman and Apothecary like my Druid. So that's it, that's quite the difference. My traits are exactly as my Druid build in skirmishing and wilderness survival. Was 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2. In SoulBeast, I take 3, 3, 2. Like always, I use the same food. Tropical peppermint cake or mango pie, something that heals over time. I find sustain from it is quite good. And combat quality tuning crystal for extra condition damage on toughness and vitality. So that's it for the summary. Now let's get into the details. I use this wolf for a really good reason. I experimented a lot with this build, and in the start I actually, let's switch, I started with that Siamos, if I remember the name correctly. Why? I wanted this skill for extra stun break and embed movement condition removal, cripple, chill, and immobilize. And also, unflinching fortitude is an effect of take no power damage for 4 seconds. It's on 50-second cooldown, which is acceptable for skills, is valuable. Once you merge with your bit, you will trigger protection and vigor from this trait and remove movement embedding condition. And you can also, if you want to stun break, use this skill if you're like getting more cripple or mobilize or whatever, to completely remove it and be immune to power damage. So this skill was the purpose. I wanted this one. I searched in the bits that actually have it, and Big was Siamos, sorry, was the one that most people used. For the knockdown and 3 target was leap for 450, and this skill have a lot of bleed for a single target use in melee range. But I had many problems with this bit. The first of it is that skill for me is kinda useless because I'm a noob and I technically never really pick whatever he gave me, so it didn't matter to me that much. And a few stills when you don't have like really burst, since your condition, the highest burst you do in stills is like double arc, and it's not that big of a deal. It's a low cooldown, like it's not valuable. Stills can get you out of situations, but the time it takes to pick it up and just move this way it was too much. And also I like the bit because it has its own CC. But why I thought it was useless? Because there is this one which is extremely superior to it. It's weaker bit that can die easily, but it has chill, 600 radius, 3-second chill on 30-second cooldown. And when you use a melee build, you need to catch people to keep them in close range for you to actually do damage. And this build do well, since it really most of the time can be elusive, cannot be crippled, chilled, or immobilized because Dolic stuns, and can remove it just by merging with a bit, or even remove it again with unflinching fortitude. And has a lot of mobility through gap closing, with skill 3 on dagger, with an ammunition. Actually, you can do it with only 1 second in between. If you hit, you get even quickness to deliver double arc faster. And if you're merged, this bit also gives you mobility. This skill is a leap for 800 radius to catch people or kite away from them. And it has the same knockdown. And this time it's only on 20-second cooldown. Siamos actually have 30-second cooldown. So, but there is some downside to this skill. I'm not sure is it wrong or what. It's only 400 range, not 450, and it doesn't even move you the 400. It's move you like a really small, as you saw. You see this skill move you back, not that one. Yeah, I guess that one will move you back about 450. And look how far it moved me. I'm not sure, but this doesn't feel like 400. That's just what I'm saying. Okay, this one, yeah, it is 400. I'm gonna move from the bush. Look where I am, where I ended. But when I use the other one, I didn't even reach the bush I started from, so it's not 400. But if you do it in really close range, it will deliver you to your enemy and you can immediately double arc. While they knock down, they will eat that damage. And that's what's great about it. So this bit provides everything, provide even chill. It has its own CC, the same knockdown, like the big Siamos. And that's why it was a choice for me. Burst Stance is kind of necessary for condition cleansing. It removes, since I have the stun support, I don't need this one since I have a lot of condition duration, like almost tops. This was more valuable. So Burst Stance remove 2 condition once you hit it, and you will trigger Soften the Fall. That's not the name now, it's a Child of Earth. Yeah, this one. So you will use a survival skill to remove 2 extra conditions. So once you use it in the first second, you will use it and then you trigger the other one. Like you see, now you removed 4. And from every second you remove another 2 condition. That's total of 14 condition on this skill. And it will heal you for 12 of them. So it can bump up a lot of healing. And you can give it to allies too. But if you're not really against any condition or mostly power, then this skill end up being weak actually, and you would be better off with Troll England. So you can kinda switch between them, but most of the time I use Burst Stance now. Lightning Reflexes is your stun break and remove immobilize and make you gain distance if you need to, get out and then switch to short bow. Sharpened Stone is one of the main sources of damage, especially in short bow. Dual stance explain itself. So this is technically your kit of utility skills, healing and elite. Some of you, I'm sure, will be asking, why did I use dagger torch, not dagger, or even axe dagger? For a start, I didn't really like axe that much or at all, because the auto attack doesn't actually have any condition. So you either hit with 3 or 2, or you don't do anything most of the time. You can trigger Sharpened Stone on the auto attack, but that's it. You give yourself some might, but it doesn't matter. And you only hit 2 people with this through bouncing. And the worst part of it, I mean, the chill and weakness is really good. This skill can only hit from melee range, or you will barely hit someone with one of the axes, and that's like 5k for more than 20 seconds, so it can be removed easily. But the main source is I didn't have the kiting actually of the dagger. This skill, it's 400 range, sorry, that can move you around, running from your target or getting close to them. You don't need to get close in axe since it's range weapon, but the difference is with this one you have melee weapon, not all range projectile. We already have range through short bow, so we don't need axe. the dagger seem more convincing, and if you fight a class that put you in melee, your melee is so much damage, like you're a PvE player, through burning and double arc, and this is a leap, so you trigger even fire aura through leaping. So it's great. And dagger offhand I did not like. Simply I don't like it. I'm gonna explain why. The numbers on paper look really great. Ammunition skill, this one was about 6k bleed that you can throw it with only 3/4 of a second between them, and 12-second only cooldown, so it looks great. And trigger cripple, so you can even melee greatly. And this one would give you 5 stacks of poison for about 6k and a half. But the pressure of torch is more and it hurt people more. I'm gonna explain why. But the other thing is the evade felt worthless to me, honestly. Anyone would say I'm probably wrong about this, but it's a personal thing. It doesn't move you out of AoE damage, so you have the evade, which for second and quarter I barely can adjust it. The skill is half second, but the dodge is more. It's so confusing. But when you do it, you're not out of AoE damage or even a cleave from a warrior who's spamming Greatsword 2 or a Reaper who's better on you, for example. So all that for that little bit of dodge didn't make any sense to me. The torch, on the other hand, didn't have any of these problems. Why? First, this skill can manipulate how people would behave against you. It's work like an area control, like the necromancer does. If you like kiting behind the tree and something and put it, and now you're standing behind the tree, like this one, of course not tree, but for example, people won't walk inside it simply, they would try to wait it out, and if they do, great, then they eat all that damage. Second thing, it's a fire field that you can leap in, so you can have fire aura, and that would give you even more damage through people simply attacking you. Also, it works as a great cleave. If you put it on down player and even trigger sharpened stone, everyone trying to revive him and even him keep eating burn every second with bleed. Burn with bleed. So it's great. And this one would hit 5 targets in a 180 radius to the target you threw it at. I'm used to torch from PvE, so probably that even made it better for me. I just think torch is great. And it gives you even more cover condi through burning. You don't have burning if you use dagger. The condition simply don't have. So that's why I used it. Now for some tips about how to play this build. If you're attacking someone like you're on workflow and then go down. Once you go down, your bit will appear next to you. The first thing I usually try to do, I'm already hitting the person in a melee range using my workflow, is to use the skill 5 of the torch. This one. Why? Because I can now leap on my opponent, trigger a fire aura, but also my wolf will leap. This is the first skill he will use, if it's not on cooldown, of course. And it's a leap finisher. So me and the wolf, we both have fire aura. He will be eating a lot of burns through only hitting us. Okay? And you have it's not the only leap finisher you have. If you're merging with your bit, this is also a leap finisher. And this is also a leap finisher. You have 4 leap finisher and this one's ammunition. So that's the start of thing. But there is not really a firm style of playing. You can do a lot of things. Like when you do this burn, you can leap using quickness. You can try to catch them with entangle for them to stay in the burn and eat sharpened stone, which is going to be immediately triggered in the first fight. You can go with double arc immediately after quickness if you think they won't dodge it. They already removed your entangle, you can try to chill them. So there is not a specific order to which skill you will do. This idea is you try to keep something you can always do. Like don't spam all your skills and your opponent removes the condition, so it's done. Now you're on cooldown. Don't do that. Try to catch them with one thing. Like they're not really able to move, then keep hitting them with the auto attack, double arc. These just stationary people or doing skills that prevent them from walking, like longbow 5 for SoulBeast. If they started to move, use chill. If they dodge it, now they don't have a dodge or something, use entangle, etc. You can switch also to short bow if you're on the fire field, bonfire. Since you have projectile, you can trigger more burning through projectile. You can stun them, immobilize them if they're trying to run from you. Since you'll be hitting them from the back, you trigger immobilize. Like I said, there is not really a specific thing to do. But if you keep wearing people's stun break and now you feel like you can get them, you can do that through short bow. Or for melee, it's better. When you merge with your bit, you can trigger the leap, brutal charge of your bit. So you get them stunned and immediately goes double arc, or can entangle them so they're not able to dodge entangle. Like I said, no specific orders. Another tip, you use stances through sharing, and that sharing, if there's not enough players around you, will go to your bit too. So you can give your bit stability and prevent damage and condition damage from him. Make it less for 33%. You can even remove condition from him. And if you use the vulture stance version, your bit will give himself might and poison through hits. That's why you're gonna find a weak bit like this will last a little bit longer than you would expect him. In my droid, I use auto-targeting. Some would find this funny, but in droid, it doesn't make any problem, but actually it gives you advantage against the classes that spam stealth. So an auto-attack, simple auto-attack would immediately, from a short bow, like short bow is so fast, quarter a second, will immediately find them without you needing to press tab. And that's the advantage. It's only in water, it's not. But in SoulBeast, you can't do that. You need to remove auto-targeting. Why? If someone's killing you here or hitting you, and you want to kite away from them, if you use skill 3, you would hit them. Even if you remove target through pressing escape or another keybind, the skill would still attack them. But if you remove auto-targeting, it will move you wherever you're trying to go. And also when you try to kiting using your wolf, you would use the leap one, crippling leap, and kite away. Look, this thing trying to attack me. I will use this and I won't attack it. It will get me away from him. So you need to do this as a trick too, or it's gonna be really difficult to kite. So that's it for the build, guys. I hope you try it and enjoy it. Don't forget to sub and like and tell me what you think about it, or if you think there's things that better for you to do, or personalized things. And I will be seeing you next time.